Didn't have the right mindset. I didn't have the right goals. Didn't have any plans. So instead of investing my money, I just spend it.
Did you where you from? What do you do back then before doing any business? Yeah, let's start first
So
with Corey. Yeah, and then we're gonna go
Corey, you're
through. Yeah.
Yeah, sure, man. I graduated high school in 2008, and I went to community college for like two classes, and found out really fast that it wasn't for me. So back then, I was just kind of partying and bartending, and that's the truth. You know what I mean? And when I turned like 24, I started taking life more serious. Um, got in a little bit of stupid trouble, and decided to turn my life around. So I got involved in the marketing agency space kind of just by chance. I was doing sales for my brother-in-law for this startup, and basically I pitched an agency owner, and he kind of ended up pitching me and getting me to work for him full time. So that was a cool opportunity. Kind of took me under his wing and showed me the ropes. I always knew I wanted to own my own business. I always had little side hustles when I was younger and stuff like that. Always looking for ways to make money, playing poker, all that kind of stuff. And I saw having a job in an agency as a really cool way to help other people build their business until I could have a bankroll to kind of start my own. So did that for a few years. I ended up meeting my buddy Dan. We worked together for about a year and a half. And one day Dan's like, "Hey, do you want to start your own agency?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "What percent do you want?" And I was like, "Well, if I'm going to do it, I want half." And so, all right, run it. So we, I put my notice in, started with no clients at the agency, just cold calling people out of my kitchen, no office. We had like a little website that we had built, and just started cold calling people, sold a few projects, hired a couple people. And that was like 6 years ago, and kind of been going ever since. So got other couple ventures and stuff too, and just staying busy and trying to build, you know what I mean? Just trying to build that, just trying to build that up. So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of hard work. Lots of BS in between, but it's definitely been a cool journey. So
That's pretty cool. So you guys started with like nothing, no
yeah, no
capital, no
designers.
nothing.
Not really. I mean, we had a little bit of money. Dan had a little bit of money in, but yeah, we didn't really have much. Just like enough to whatever, eat peanut butter and jellies and pay our rent. You know what I mean? So yeah, pretty much totally bootstrapped. No full-time staff. Nothing really. Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. I mean, now you guys,
Pretty stupid, but it worked out. You know.
how long has it been? Like almost 8 years now?
I think
7?
like 6.5 years, something like that. About 6.5 years. How about you, bro? Tell us about yourself, Drew. What's your background before you became beautifully and wildly successful and gorgeous?
Well, this sounds like I just talked about this yesterday because I think we did. It was the day before. But anyway, I'll just make it pretty quick. I'm originally from Ecuador. I graduated high school when I was like 16 and a half or something, somewhere around there. I moved to the States. The plan was to come for college, but I took a gap year because I wanted to work and make money. Worked for like a power washing company for like, I don't know, like about 10 months or something like that. Dropped out of college my first semester as well. I figured out that it wasn't for me. I was doing too much, and I realized that what I was doing wasn't working, or at least wasn't taking me where I wanted to go. So I got my first sales job. I used to do audio video surveillance sales, and I realized that you can, do pretty well in sales, and if you get good at it. So I did that for about like 10 months, so just a little under a year, and ended up leaving and starting my own company. Moved from New York down to Florida, and at the time my business had started doing like pretty decently good. I think we were doing like 300 to 400 thousand a year in sales, and the profit margins were really good. It was like about 40% profit margins, I would say. So I used to do really well with that, and then I hired a bunch of guys, bought some trucks, started expanding the company, and then I started playing poker a whole lot. and not going to work that much. So things went well for a little while. I run up a little role in poker, fell in love with the game. Then I didn't play pretty much full time for like a year and a half while I still had the business going on the side. I went on like a massive losing streak. I think I lost like 40,000, which at the time was like I don't know, like 30% of my roll or something like that. And I panicked and I was like, I'm going to buy something with this money because I'm not going to lose it all. And after that, I never really play full time like that anymore. Ended up kind of like selling that company. Didn't want to do that anymore. Was burned out. I dealt for a year. I worked at a poker room. So I just loved the game. It was good money. And then after that, I went back in business. Wasn't sure what I was going to do. And you pretty much know the rest. The gaming affiliate stuff. COVID happened. That grew really big. Yeah, here we are.
I just want to ask, guys, why is it most of the most successful entrepreneurs are college dropouts?
A lot of free time. I don't think all college dropouts are successful. I think people that drop out of college either like sink or swim. You know what I mean? So you kind of find out pretty fast, like, are you going to be happy just having this job, kind of grinding it out, or are you willing to kind of take that next step and go on your own and try to build something? I think it kind of gives you that, you know, fight or flight mentality, right? Like, you don't have an education, you got to kind of figure it out, and a lot of times it's figuring out on your own and building your own little team and squad and stuff.
It's all, I feel like it's all about the personality because you don't hear about the other, you know, like out of 100 college dropouts, maybe like how many do you think there's like super successful? Maybe 5%, 10% maybe? Yeah. You don't hear about the other 90%, right? So like when you hear this one guy that, you know, created massive wealth or a lot of success, and it was like, oh, I just dropped out of college and decided to pursue my own thing. You're like, oh, wow, he did it without college, you know. But there's a lot of other people that dropped out of college and, you know, didn't get there, and you don't hear a lot about those. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it's more like, oh my God, you're a college dropout, you're successful. I think like you just kind of automatically get more credit because people, whatever, don't think you're gonna be.
But I feel like there is that one thing though that, like, I mean, you know, like society as a rule of thumb, it kind of tells you like, right, you have to finish high school, go to college, you know, get a good job, get married, all that stuff. And you drop out of college, like if you drop out of college exclusively to like focus on your business, then I feel like you're already like showing a passion for it, right? And that passion is what like makes you successful. Like you wanting that more than anything else is what makes someone successful. Because eventually, like if you don't give up, you'll eventually end up making it, right? Like, I mean, you can't just fail your whole life. So like not giving up is part of it, and just making sure that whatever it is that you want, you just go full force with it, give it your all, put all your resources towards it. Then I feel like that's what you have to do if you want to be successful in business. But if you just drop out of college because you're lazy and you don't want to do shit, then like it's not really gonna have the same impact, right? Like the same outcome.
I think a lot, like all entrepreneurs in general, are just super like have a super high risk tolerance, like ridiculous, like stupid, like to the point where like it can be dangerous. Like I know I do with like pretty much everything. You know what I mean? Like super high risk tolerance, and you know, you play big, you win big, like just like in poker. You know what I'm saying? So like if you're willing to whatever, like put your life on jeopardy to achieve your dream and potentially set you back like a decade, like sometimes you're gonna win. You know what I mean?
What do you think is the riskiest thing about starting a marketing agency? Like, what do you think is the biggest risk?
There's definitely like a coffin zone kind of like you need to hire a few people, but you can't yet, and you're not sure if you should. Like figuring out the right time to hire, because then that can be scary, because then you've got other people's like lives at stake too, and that's not really what they signed up for. You know what I mean? So like to me, that's the scariest thing, is like hiring, making those decisions, because like you want to be responsible for the people's livelihood. Like they're entrusting you with like their career, basically. All the other stuff's fine. I don't know. I mean, I used to have like fear of selling. I used to have this weird thing in my head, like I look young, but like I looked a lot younger, like when I started the company too. And I had this weird thing in my head that like I didn't think people were going to take me serious because I looked so damn young. And like one day I just flipped the script and I was like, dude, people are impressed that I'm doing this. So I started using that to my advantage. So I think some people start a company, they're scared to sell, honestly. I think a lot of people are scared to sell and go out there and make mistakes. Like you're not, it's not going to be perfect, you know what I mean? But if you truly care about what you're doing and adding value and have the right people on your team, like I need people on my team. Like I can't do it myself, dude. You know what I mean? Like I'm good at coming up with ideas, strategies, things like that, finding new business. But there's some stuff I'm super weak at, you know what I mean? So yeah, that, and then probably the biggest challenge for me is like not getting too involved in the work and like always focusing on like growing the company, finding new clients and stuff like that. For me, it's really easy to get sucked into like the day to day. And like when you get sucked in, it's really hard to identify that you're even in it. You know what I mean? Because you kind of can't see outside that bubble until somebody pulls you out of that bubble or somehow you pull yourself out. That's a huge challenge for me, dude. I get like stuck in the business versus like working on it a lot. That's something I'm starting to get better at, but I struggled with that for like pretty much like my first like 4 years. Like I didn't understand what that concept even meant until I started like talking to a few people, reading some books, and then I got sick of like getting stuck too. You know what I mean? Because like when you're in the business, you just get stuck and like you don't go anywhere. You just kind of spin your wheels. So.
I feel like that's one of the biggest flaws of most entrepreneurs. Like they get, you're so excited, you're so passionate, so you don't realize that you're working, like you said, in the business, not on the business.
Yeah.
And if you want to scale it, you need to work on the business and just delegate, like hire the right people and do that for yourself. I still struggle with that a lot of times. I juggle so many things because
and then you just create a job for yourself. You know what I mean? So like you literally create your own prison of what you're trying to escape, and then you're just working for yourself and you're like totally capped. You know what I mean? It can be like super frustrating and depressing. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because you know what? Most of the people doesn't even know how to let go and focus on their strength. Yeah, they are actually focusing on what they can do, overviewing everything, and instead of them trusting and delegating the tasks that they do have for the team members, so that the team members can also be responsible enough. I think that's most of the young entrepreneurs are actually, that's their problem. I think instead of them letting go and letting other people shine for the task, for the job that they actually signed up for, most of them are holding back because they haven't even trust the team first, and then so that they can do their stuff. So that
there's certain things that like I've let go of and then they explode and then it's a big disaster and then I'm like shit. And like so like you still have to give people good direction. Like if you're gonna like have that approach and stuff, like I've let go of a lot of stuff in like the past 6 months and then had to like take back part of it and then been like, okay, cool, like kind of mold and show this is how we do things and then re-let go and it works a lot better. You know what I mean? So like if you're getting like we need to delegate for sure, but like we need to do it in a way where we're creating a process. Like you have to have a process, or you just delegate things and everyone does everything their own way, and then you suffer like quality issues. Like we had a couple clients fire us like 6 months ago. That's like never happened ever. Like we made a new hire and I kind of like stepped back on the hire and like 2 people fired us and I was like shit. And then I had to, I screwed up. Like I wasn't keeping my eye on it. I was not kind of giving people like the right overview on how we do things like this, because like we have like our own little like kind of secret sauce at Drive, why people work with us, and a lot of it comes on like our creative and like the quality of work, and like we're pretty good at listening to people and hitting their vision like without a ton of revisions and stuff like that. And like we just like lost that because I like stepped out of the picture because I wasn't like, but then I put together a process that helps like make sure that it happens. You know what I mean? So that's the hard stuff, dude. That's what I'm saying though, is like you can't be like I could have like went back into my hole and been like, this, I'm just doing this again. But like I didn't. I was like, all right, cool. Here's the problem. I got to keep selling and growing. So here's a process that's going to fix that. And then you just keep working on it and figuring it out. You know what I mean?
I feel like there is a fine line, right, between like working in the business too much or being overly involved too much to the point where like it deteriorates your ability of working on the business and scaling it, and the other side of the spectrum where like you're like, well, I got a business, I'm gonna go to the beach, I'm gonna relax, I'm gonna forget about it. And when that happens, you get those drops. And that happened to me. I've done that several times. That's what happened with my audio video business. I was out there. I would be almost every day with sales meetings with my guys, pump them up in the morning, like, all right, let's go out, let's crush our goals, let's hit our goals for the day, our goals for the week, all that stuff. and sales were continuously growing and growing and growing and growing. Everybody was pumped, everybody was happy. Then everything was going great, and I was like, all right, well, this ship has sailed. It's perfect. I'm gonna do really well for the rest of my life. I'm just gonna go play poker now. And I basically saw them like once a week for a while, and then just sales just started declining, and I was like, oops, I have to come back. And sometimes it's too late. I mean, sometimes I was pretty young too. I think it was like 8 years ago. I was like 23, and yeah, like you learn those lessons the hard way, right? Sometimes I think that business, if I would have been a little more experienced, or if at least I would have realized, how to like properly run a business and scale it and do all the right things, that could have been, a 7-8 figure business by now. But you live and you learn.
And let me just add for that one. This is what I learned from a book as well as from my mentor. There are three personalities in business. First, are you an entrepreneur? We need to work on who we are, because we cannot be on those three at all times. Is it entrepreneur? Are you that, or are you the manager, the one doing all the operations and all the stuff, leading the people, doing all the training stuff, or are you the technician or the experts? Yeah, and most of the people are tailor fit to become a technician, to become the expert, but they doesn't even know how to run the business. They need to convert first themselves for them to run the business, to become an entrepreneur, the visionary, the one who will be steering the company. They will be, if they want to become a very good COO or the one running the whole show, they should be learning how to build the process as well as the system from ground up of the company, so that the employees come in to their company. Definitely they do have system to follow, the workflows of the company. Most of the people doesn't even know where to put their efforts, where to put their work, where to focus in, because they doesn't even know especially the startup entrepreneurs. Most of them, the reason why they are actually they're not growing, it's because they don't even know and they don't maximize what personality they are in.
Yeah, like what is their role in the company, or what, like I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, I want to be an entrepreneur, or I want to start a business, but they have no clue what they want to do, right? And like it's really hard to go out and compete, and like especially nowadays things are just so competitive. So everything that you're doing that you want to do, there's people already out there doing it, and a lot of them that are very, very successful are spending so much time in like bettering themselves, continue learning, continue adapting. And for you to like even think about like hitting those levels and competing with those people, like I feel like like you said, the first thing is just go out and like educate yourself in the whatever industry it is that you want to succeed at, and just put so much time and effort in doing that first before you jump in and dive into it without knowing what to do. I don't know, that's just my opinion. I've done it several times where I've started things that I had no idea what to do, and some of them I just failed miserably, and some other ones I spent a lot of time to learn them, and eventually had some success.
Yeah, we started using something like a year and a half ago. It's called EOS. It's like a business framework. I don't know if you guys have heard of it or whatever. There's a book called Traction that it was written after. There's people all across the country that do like EOS implementation, but there is like, it's pretty expensive to do it for like a startup, but there is like a self implementation, but it talks about like, there's basically like 5 different seats. So there's like a visionary, which is usually like a CEO. There's the integrator, which visionaries tend to suck at. So like if you're going to be a CEO of your company and you're the visionary type, and like you're out doing sales and you come up with great, crazy ideas, chances are you're going to have a hard time integrating those. So that's why it's really good to either like A, have a partner to be the integrator, or B, hire somebody really quick that can help you. And then there's like a sales and marketing seat that's responsible for like day-to-day marketing and sales operations. That's an operator, and then finance. But those are like the 5 like main seats that like make up a business. And like, so like there's like an accountability chart that you make within your organization. So you fill somebody in visionary, someone in integrator, someone in sales and marketing, someone in operations, and someone in finance. And it's each of those person's responsibilities to make sure the things underneath there get done. But it's not just their core responsibility to do it. So like you still work as a team to help achieve these things, right? But it's one person's responsibility. So like if sales and market, if somebody has a sales and marketing seat, right? They're the one accountable to hit the sales goals and quotas, but they can utilize the rest of the team to make that happen. They're the one just keeping an eye on it. Same thing with operations. Like if your process starts slipping, or you guys aren't billing enough time, you're overbilling or going over on projects, it's their job to make sure that that thing sticks the right way. Same thing with finance. Like if all of a sudden you got a huge cash flow issue that you couldn't have ever forecasted, well, finance should have told you that like a month ago. So it's kind of cool. It creates like a lot of like accountability in an organization, and helps people focus on like their roles. That was EOS is something that helped me like a ton. Like that's really kind of what changed my mindset on a lot of this stuff, was doing doing EOS. We had a buddy, Dave Feidner, he's our implementer. He kind of just like helped us self-implement because he's really cool and nice and likes us and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, like super helpful. EOS is really helpful for us.
We have to look into that, because a couple of our ventures were still a bit disorganized, and I normally take the blame for a lot of it, because I overextend myself. I get really excited still about newer things, and I just sometimes bite more than I can chew. But I feel like things are going the right way. Things are moving forward, and as long as you keep going, that's what matters.
Yeah, I think I remember that PDF I sent you. I sent it to the Vision Traction Organizer. It was like it had some orange on it and stuff. Yeah, you didn't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I did. Did I do it? No. I didn't do it. I think I did it. I don't remember, to be honest with you. Honestly, that it's insane. I have so much going on that my head feels like overloaded. It's crazy. And when I realized this is, I used to remember like when I played poker a lot, and even after I stopped playing so much, like I would remember hands that I played like years ago to the dot. Like how poker players are, especially when you play a lot, you remember all of it. And Alex and I used to talk about hands, and I was like, yeah, this hand we played like 6 years ago. Remember this, remember that, and we both remember. Now I go out, I play a session, and I come back home, and like I don't remember a lot of the hands, and it's like my brain is full. I don't know what to do. Like there's no new information coming in, so I don't know what it is. I definitely need to figure something out, because there's definitely a lot going on. But I'm super excited for this year. You and I do a couple things together with Georgetown, and now Thorm and I are growing this agency. And our other businesses are like, everything is just like super overwhelming sometimes, but I love it. Business is my high.
I get all up when I'm working on stuff that I don't like working on. That's like when I get all screwed up and can't get anything done. You know what I mean? So I try to like last week it was like Monday, and we have like it's called a level 10 meeting. It's part of EOS. So like me and my partner in the agency will sit down, and it's like a structured meeting. You go over the last week and where we at, and if we have any issues. And I'm like, dude, I just feel like what's wrong? I'm like, I don't know, dude. Like I don't know what I should be doing. I think I'm just gonna go. Like I started like getting back into that like victim mode. Like, oh, we had such a good January, but now we don't have any leads. And then like I just went and got like, I think I told you last week, I got like 7 new leads last week, and I've closed 2 pieces of business today from last week. And I just like went and just started calling.
I know.
Bro, sort of God. We start, and they're both. Dude, and they're both people that one of them we've worked with both of them before. So they were just people that like I hit back up like in the past, whatever, like couple months, and we just been talking, and then boom, it just went doom. I had three pitches today. So like, that's just how, you know what I'm saying? Like what I'm saying is like, and I didn't work, like I worked last week, you know what I mean? But it didn't feel like work. It's like playing, like I love playing poker, dude. Like when I play poker, like it doesn't feel, because I don't play every day anymore either. I play like once or twice a week. So like when I play, it doesn't feel like a grind, and I know I'm good at it and I enjoy doing it. It's the same thing with sales, dude. Like when I'm selling, like, and working on lead gen activity or like strategy and stuff like that, like it doesn't feel like work, and I feel great, and then I make money. And then like I just get sucked back. I gotta stay out of the projects, dude. If I get in the projects, I'm just drawing dead. Like I'm just, it's a wrap.
You feel alive.
Yeah.
when you didn't, what do you love? I love selling too. Like, and I think that's one of the reasons why I started like looking into other industries and stuff, because pretty much, the one of our main businesses, I feel like we kind of like hit the market cap, so there's not a whole lot of room for expansion and stuff. So I started getting bored, and now with the agency, I've noticed that even though I know I'm pretty good at sales, because it's something a little like new, I noticed that I started like second guessing myself, and I've noticed that I've started doing other things instead of just go out and do it. And I just started thinking to myself, like, Drew, like you're like the only thing that's stopping you is you, because I end up getting distracted or diverted to do other things when I know that all I want to do is go out and sell new customers and get new customers. So I made sure I gave myself a goal, a monthly goal for media minds, and if I don't reach that goal, if I don't meet that goal every month, I'm gonna like punish myself and like do, I don't know, I'm either gonna do some bets, or I'm gonna do, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm doing something, I promise you. So Thorm, you guys need to get ready, because there's gonna be a ton of new clients coming on.
Yeah. Yeah, so maybe the consequences you will not gonna eat steak for a month. So
That's is that a fat joke? Damn, I just lost 50 pounds. 50 pounds I just lost. I'm still getting fat joke.
You gained half that shit back. Stop. How much have you gained back? How much have you gained back? Come on.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, you gained half that shit back.
I've gained like 14 pounds back.
oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm gonna get back to it. I promise. It's gonna happen. You want to bet again?
I didn't even want to bet in the first place. I just did it because I wanted you to win. That's why I didn't bet a lot.
But
But literally, I wanted you to win. I don't.
I know that, but like, yeah. So, like, was
Yeah.
it not just because you bet me doesn't mean that I'm not gonna win?
I
Like,
quit smoking, bro. I haven't smoked in 5 days, and nobody bet me shit.
wow.
I would have bet you. That's
No, I didn't have to bet because I'm not soft. I just did it.
Thanks.
Just because it's good for me. You got a
Yeah,
kid,
no,
bro.
absolutely.
You got a kid. You're having a kid. You gotta.
I stopped smoking. It's been like 5 months now, I think.
That's good, bro. No, I feel good. I seriously like just like I was like, this is dumb as hell. This is dumb. Actually, my brother-in-law posted something, dude. He doesn't. I didn't even tell him this. He posted something. He's like super active and fit. My brother-in-law is like successful as fuck, and he like hates. He's like, I'm not a like. He put something on Instagram. He's like, I'm not a morning person at all. I hate waking up, but I get up at like 6 every day. I work out. I drink a shit ton of water. I do this and that so I can do this and that, right? And he's like, so I'm not soft. And I was like, dude, I'm soft. So like I stopped. Like I was like, I feel soft from smoking. So I was like, I'm quitting it. I've smoked since I was 14, dude. Like, and like I just quit. I'm just done. Fuck it. Just stopped.
Yeah.
I've been cutting down anyway, and then I'm gonna start working out too because I feel like a pussy.
It's so hard. It's like getting to that mindset. You feel so good when you are in that mindset, but it's extremely hard. It's one of the hardest things, I think, to continue, because it ends up becoming a lifestyle. It's not just like, okay, like for example, what I did. It's like I bet you guys like supported me by betting me and all this stuff, and I committed to it because I didn't want to lose the bet. But then as soon as the bet was over, I kind of like relaxed and stopped doing some of the things that I was doing, and that's not the point. Like the point is doing it for so long that it becomes a habit, it becomes a lifestyle, and that's what you do. Because if you think about it, like all the things that you want to stop, like all the things that are bad for you, like having really bad food habits or smoking or drinking excessively, or all those things are things that are preventing you from doing a lot of things that you want to do, if that's the case, if it gets in your way. So you just think and you're like, okay, why am I doing this? Why can I just stop? And like you said, yeah, if like feeling like you're soft is one of the reasons, like if I can do this, then that's great. Like then go ahead and utilize that, But I just feel like it's really, really hard. But when I start getting into that rhythm, I'm so much more productive. Things just start happening. I feel
100%.
like I feel so good, And I've been falling back into a routine, so that's awesome. I feel amazing. I feel like things are happening. It's just like you start doing really good in one thing, whether it's like your health, eating better, getting a bit more sleep, doing the right things, working out, doing things that you have to do, and just things start aligning and things start happening.
Yeah,
That's how I feel. At least
I
it
agree
feels
with
for
you.
me, and that's how it
100%.
starts working
100%.
out for me.
Yep, I agree with
Yeah.
you, dude. 100%. Yeah, I made it a goal this year. Like, I'm like traveling a ton and stuff too. So I don't know. I'm just trying to do other. Like, I feel like I
How did you turn a bad habit into good habits?
mean, like a big part of my background, dude. Like, I'm like, yeah, like I was like a huge alcoholic, drug addict when I was like in high school. I went to treatment in 2008, and for me, honestly, dude, it was God and the program for me. So like my story might be a little bit different than what you were gonna say, Drew. I don't have any. I know I said I quit smoking because it's soft, because it is soft. It's garbage, but it wasn't ruining my life. You know what I mean? Yet, like I know eventually it'll like kill me. But like the really bad stuff, like drugs, alcohol, all that kind of stuff. The way that I put that stuff down was through a program and a higher power, honestly. And that's really how I get through like the biggest stuff still is through like for me, spirituality. Like I believe in all of it, dude. I believe in you should be spiritually fit. You should be like, I feel pretty spiritually fit. I feel pretty mentally fit. I feel financially fit. My next thing to do is become physically fit. Like, I feel like all those things kind of work together. And the more fit you are with all those things, like the less problems you're going to have in general. Like, you're not going to pick up these like stupid bad habits. You know what I mean? And like for me personally too, dude, like I'm still brushing off the dust from COVID. I feel better now, but like during COVID, like I wasn't doing anything crazy, but like there was like a lot of like being indoors, isolation. My phone use probably went up like 10x, you know what I mean? From like playing online and stuff. So like you're always on your device. And so for me, I'm trying to like kick that and replace it with other stuff. So like I went part of the putting down the smoking thing too. Like I snowboarded for the first time in like 13 years last weekend, and it was the shit. I hurt myself really bad, like bad. Like I thought I broke my ribs, but it was fun, dude. And like I forgot how fun that kind of stuff is. You know what I mean? Like I literally haven't been snowboarding since I was like 19 years old, and I had like a ton of fun, like natural endorphins going, like having a good time. And then like I ate it and fell and got really hurt, and now I'm still nursing that. But like when I got out of my comfort zone, you know what I mean? Because I haven't done it in a long time. When I got out of my comfort zone, like good stuff happens. But I know for me as an individual, if I isolate and try to like solve all my problems, it doesn't work. Like I need a group of people in a power greater than myself personally.
Accountability. All right. Yeah. How about you, Drew?
Well, I'm still working on it. I'm still trying to, kill bad habits, some of them. But like Corey said before, I had a lot of them. You can find addiction in a lot of different ways. And I feel like, this is like a loaded question because I can go on and on and on and on about this. I think like one of the main things is consistency and just staying determined to do or not do whatever it is that your goal is, right? So like if it's stop drinking, like you also have to find the root cause of it all. That's something that I've learned, through a lot of therapy, a lot of just soul searching, a lot of like trying to figure it out why I used to self-sabotage. And like I said, this is like, don't get me going on this because we can be here for hours. But I realized that everything starts within. Like all of your decisions, all of your vices, all of any addictions that you can have, all that stuff. There's a deep-rooted issue as to why you're doing that, or as to why you are acting out in certain ways that are not good for you, and you're still doing it. Just getting honest with yourself, trying to look why is it that you're making those choices, being okay with the fact that it's uncomfortable and that you might not like what you look in the mirror, what you see in the mirror, whether it's health wise, whether it's physical stuff, whether it's where you are at in life financially, um, and then just have a plan, right? Like make a plan of what you want to do, where you want to go, and put all of your resources towards it. That's what I've been doing for the past couple of years, and it's really changed my life completely.
Because
And there has been slip ups. Like I've messed up in several ways. You know, I'm not perfect, but overall, like trying to do more good things than the bad things. Like
yeah, when you do screw up, you don't have to like go off the deep end too. That's something as well. Like if you do have a bad habit, whatever it is, booze or gambling or whatever, and like it's ruining your life, and you stop doing it and you do relapse, because that's like I'm not saying relapse is part of like recovering from bad habits, but a lot of people's journey it is. You don't have to keep kicking your own ass and feel like shit about it. It's just about getting back on the horse. Like that, like you're a human being. You know, like we're all just human beings, right? We're all cut from the same stuff. Yeah, you just don't want to get too far out there again, because you don't know if you'll come back. Like sometimes, like if you have a super bad habit and then you start doing that habit again, like not everyone makes it. Like some of the it's like actually life or death. You know what I mean? Also too, for me, like a lot of people know my story of like recovery. So like I know if I went out and started drinking or getting high again, a lot of people would be like, what the, you know what I mean? Like it would upset a lot of people, because I know, like, I don't ask for respect for that, but I've tried to help some people with that in their lives and talk to them about it. So like, I know I kind of am like a beacon of hope for some people who aren't so fortunate, you know? So like that really helps me keep going and stuff too. Like I have some kind of major accountability, at least in my own head, to do the right thing.
Like I have massive respect for you, Corey, for, you know, being able to remain sober, especially in our industry, you know, like in the gambling industry, playing poker, all that stuff. Like it's a lot. It's a
huge edge, bro. Huge edge.
Yeah, no,
like,
but I mean,
edge.
it also has to be really hard, right? Because like you have like the temptation right there, especially when you were playing a lot more and like you're going into casinos and all of that stuff. Like it's not like, you know, a regular person where they work in a different industry where you're like in a warehouse all day or you're in an office all day.
It's weird, bro, because like honestly, like I'm so comfortable at a poker table that like drinking never like looks appealing ever. Like it's weird, dude. Like seriously, like I'm so like I feel like that is like by default my environment. I feel like what's Corey's natural habitat is like literally be at a poker table. How sick that sounds. Like that's where like I seriously feel like I'm at, like this is my spot. You know what I mean? I get tripped up, and not like often, but if I do get tripped up, it's at like some social event, like a business networking event where I don't really know anybody and they're all drinking, and I'm just like, that's like the only time it'll be a fleeting thought where it's like, this would make this a lot easier right now. You know what I mean? But that's just like my sick head tricking myself, because I don't want to have one drink to blend in. I want to get blasted, right? So like that's not me. Like that's like what I just said is not my thinking to like play the tape through. That's what I learned through going through a program. You know what I mean? So like I was way off the rails when I first tried to get sober. Like I couldn't do it until I started like following a step. That's probably why EOS works for us too, bro. It's like a blueprint for me. You know what I mean? Like, hey, just do this.
Yeah.
And you'll be successful. I'm like, well, I can do that. That's easy.
I can follow directions.
Yeah, just follow stuff. The same thing with the online stuff. Like, hey, just use this platform and do this and you'll be straight. All right, cool. Like, you know what I mean? There's like a lot of people like, I don't know. I just like, maybe I feel like I'm a terrible listener, but the stuff that matters, maybe I'm just good at listening and being smart enough to figure it out, but dumb enough not to overthink it. I don't know. But I appreciate it. I appreciate it, Drew. I don't look for respect in that stuff. I did it.
No, I just know that, like, so for example, for me, when I played full time, I never ever drank when I played poker. And my thing was like hot tea with honey and lemon, and that's all I would drink, that or water, you know? But like, after I stopped taking it that serious and I would just play recreationally, you know, there's a lot, sometimes friends or whatever, and they're like, hey, let's have a drink, anything like that. But yeah, I mean, I know if you like poker so much that like the poker table is kind of like your happy place, that does make sense that it would be like the least, you know, tempting for you to, you know, grab a bottle, you know. It'll be more likely in situations where like you are uncomfortable. So yeah, exactly. that does make sense.
Yep. Yeah. Situations where I just kind of want to blend in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's where it can be challenging. But
what makes you in love with poker?
Challenging. It's challenging. It's a huge. I mean, you're competing against I like competing. I'm super competitive. You're literally competing against yourself and everyone else at the table. It's a 100%. It's a selfish game. You know what I mean? Really. And I've met some really good people in poker. Like the best and the worst people I've ever met in my life are probably through poker. You know what I mean? So I do like the I don't want to say networking, but like the relationships that I've gotten out of poker has been like a huge thing for me, like changed my life, for sure. So, and it's the what do they say? It's a hard way to make easy money, or easy living that we make hard, or some like it can be super lucrative.
You
it's
completely like butchered.
Whatever the fuck, you know what I mean?
Doyle Bronson.
Like it's a game, like it's just
it's
like
a hard way to make an easy living.
Hard way to make a decent living. There you go.
Easy
so
living.
It's challenging, bro. And I've learned a lot about myself and my life through playing cards, for real. Like you know what I mean? Like it in a weird way, it's taught me to have balance, which is super weird because I used to play every single day, and now you know what I mean? Like, and then when I play every day, I don't do well. But if I play like twice a week, I crush. And it's taught me that like, hey, just like slow down, take it easy. You're a psychopath. Like you can't be super smart all the time. You need to sleep. You need to eat food. You need to hang out with your wife and kid. Like, you know, so I've just always liked the game. I don't know. Ever since I got introduced to it, I've liked it.
This is it. You tell yourself, oh, this is it. This is something that I would love to do. And this is my sports. Right?
Yeah. It's kind of like a sport, you know? So I don't know how much Drew loves poker anymore. You got to ask him. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know how much what?
I don't know how much Drew loves poker. I don't know.
Oh, dude, it's probably one of my biggest passions. I think like it was my biggest passion, and then it's shifted. Like now business and like bettering myself has become like my number one, I want to say priority, because obviously for me it's like my family. I'm about to be a dad, so like that's like the thing that has me like going crazy right now. But aside, you know, that stuff, which is like the really important stuff, like from a personal perspective, now it's business and becoming a better entrepreneur, becoming a better investor, a better just businessman overall, and then being a poker player below that. Now I still love it. I still wish I would get to do it more, but right now I'm in a place where I realize that the wealth that I can achieve in business is probably not something that I can achieve in poker, right? And that it's not because I don't like trust myself, but it's just like poker has gotten so competitive, and there's so many like sickos out there that are studying like every single day, hours a day. Yeah,
there's a cap too, bro. Like like even like the biggest poker players in the world, none of them, they're not billionaires from playing poker. Like none of them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
none of them are
like
super. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's no billionaires from just playing cards. Like it just doesn't. It doesn't exist.
So
you know?
So that's one of the reasons why. But like like you said, I mean, like I'm super competitive, and just two reasons. Like I feel like it levels the playing field, because it doesn't matter who you are when you're at a poker table. It doesn't matter whether you're a gardener or you're a lawyer or you're a doctor. Like everybody's equal at the poker table. How good at you get at the game, it's based on you. That's pretty much it. So like the second reason why I got so hooked in poker is because I beat a game for like a year straight, and I thought I was the best poker player alive, but it was just because the people were so bad that I was just, I guess, a slightly better. And then I went and started playing in other places, and I got my head bashed in, and I was like, what happened? Like, but yeah, so I had unrealistic expectations of like what poker was, because I got so lucky to, you know, my introduction to poker kind of was like the softest game ever created. So yeah, those are the two reasons.
That's how I felt like for like the first like 5-6 months of COVID. Like we were like pretty much like we lost, like we didn't, you know what I mean? Like,
oh no, dude, that's nothing. Like people that I think like in COVID, the online players were like the worst that they have ever been, just because of the fact that, you know, everybody was stuck at home and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But like I'm talking like this, when I first started playing poker, it's been like over a decade now. It's probably like 12 years ago. You remember how bad people were back then? Yeah. And these people were like 10x bad that. Like I'm talking, we used to play at the back of a pool hall, and all of these people were like, you know, Spanish business owners. Like they own like landscaping businesses, stuff like that. They literally would go there, get shit-faced and gamble, like throw their chips in. And there was one older guy. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. So there was one older guy that I remember up until now. He was like a huge hustler. He used to play pool for like thousands of dollars. One time he took me to like a huge, like a mansion in Connecticut, and he was playing this guy for like 50K a game. He had a backer. And yeah, he basically, he was a hustler. He would play pool and he would play poker, and he never lost at anyone. But he was the only like good player, and then everybody else was just like dumping. So that was like, I don't know. I got
Where's
super
he at,
lucky.
bro? Where's he at?
I don't know. Hopefully still alive. I don't. He was like sick, probably close to 60 back then, like almost
Oh, wow.
14 years ago.
I hope that he survived COVID. I hope. Guys, can I ask, guys, how young are you when you hit your first million in business?
Me? I was like 30, I believe.
Yeah.
Actually, no. Like we talked before. Like I made a bunch throughout my 20s, but I wasted it all. Like I didn't have a whole lot to show for it. My business was doing like 400 to 600K a year in sales, and I was profiting about 30% of that. And I did that for like 5-6 years, but I had not a whole lot to show for it, just because I had like very poor like money management skills. Money didn't really matter to me, and not in the sense that it shouldn't matter to you even now, but like I didn't have a long-term plan. I didn't know why I wanted to be a millionaire. I wanted to, do all these things, but I had no idea why I wanted to do those things. So not having like a strong why, I feel like it created me to just not just make really bad decisions and just waste it all. And also I was very young, so what I've actually gotten to it now is when I was 30 years old.
30 years old. Wow. It's really, really awesome. Still, how about you, Corey?
Yeah, I get tripped. I don't even know what that question really means, because everyone kind of means something different by that. But I mean, I pretty much started crushing it like 2 years ago. I'd say 2.5 years ago is when shit really started taking off for me, and I started being able to do pretty much whatever I wanted.
Here's the thing, guys. Let's shift on to poker now. Okay. What does poker teach you and bought you as a life lesson?
For me, it's been poker is like life. There's like sometimes you have to take risks. You have to be consistent. You have to. There's so many things, and right now for whatever reason I'm drawing a blank. But I used to have like the perfect analogies between poker and life.
For me, it's self-awareness. Honestly, like that's like the biggest thing. Because like when I play hungry or tired or pissed off, I suck. Like I typically, and like probably tired and angry, probably the worst. Hungry, I can kind of get by a little bit. And like that's the same thing in life. Like if I'm pissed off in life, I'm not gonna make good decisions. If I'm tired, I'm not gonna be like mentally as sharp. If I'm hungry, I'm not really thinking clearly either. So like a lot of poker to me is like self-awareness, like knowing when you're going to perform your best, and then focusing on those revenue generating activities during that time, and also keeping yourself like mentally sharp and like ahead of the curve as far as like that game's concerned. And the same thing in business, right? Like in poker, it's always evolving and changing. So like if you're not reading and studying, which I should do more of, but I still do it, and just because I still do it, I get an edge on people, because most like 99% of poker players never study. That helps me, you know what I mean? Like those little nuggets of information. So like I need to apply that to my business. Like every time I read, which I don't do enough of in business, but every time I read, I pick up a little nugget that makes me like a little bit more successful and a little bit more money. So yeah, poker definitely teaches me like, those types of things. There's a lot of like commonality between poker and business, and
like what you said, for you is self-awareness. I think that's what makes you way above average of the average poker player, and way more successful, is because I feel like one of the number one flaws of a lot of poker players is self-awareness. Like a lot of players out there think that they're way better than what they really are. They have like this ego. They're like, oh no, and like a lot of them also are not like coachable or teachable. They don't like you to accept when they like messed up a hand or played a hand wrong or whatever, and make a lot of excuses, as opposed to just like listen to someone, learn, and move on. Like accept, like, okay, yeah, I probably fucked up that hand, or I played that hand wrong. Next time I'll just learn from it and move on.
I think there's a lot of like super good players too that like when they're playing their A game, they're super, super good, but then like they have a lot of leaks and like they're playing all the time and they're not like studying and they're not trying to fix mistakes and they get caught up in a downswing and then they just kind of punt it all off. You know what I mean? Where like I've learned, like I kind of said earlier, like when I played the 2 times I play a week, I'd say like 95% of the time now I'm kind of playing my A game, which like before I'd play my A game like 30% of the time, play my B game like 40% of the time, and then like 30% of the time I would just be playing like shit. So like that's what I'm saying about self-awareness is like I know for me, if I log more than 15 hours a week, I'm gonna like be lacking sleep because I have a business. I'm not gonna be performing well. I'm gonna be tired. I'm gonna get frustrated, and then like it's gonna spiral into like not playing good, you know. And it affects the rest of my life negatively too. So like that for me, like 15, not even like 10 hours a week of playing is like plenty. You know what I mean? That's like 2 sessions a week. I'm straight. I'm good. Because I got too much other stuff going on, like you were saying, Drew. You know what I mean? And one of the reasons I don't play full time too, dude, is because like you can't pass that on. Like I can't hand my kid here's this wealth and information. Take it and build something with it. Like I want to be able to like have a business where like maybe one day if he wants to get involved, he can get involved and I can pass that stuff on. You can't pass on. It's like trying to pass on being a professional athlete or something. Like it doesn't work. And I'm not making athlete money playing poker. Like I'm just not. Yeah, I'm not there. It's just not happening.
As no sweat equity, like you said. Yeah, you can't just build something like. You reminded me of this quick little story about like I don't know 13 years ago, somewhere around there. I think I was about 18. I still lived in New York, and my buddy actually he's still in RGS. Shout out to Greg. Him and I went to Mohegan, and we were supposed to stay on it for a couple of days, and ended up staying longer. I was just starting in poker, but loved the game. Like I was like this close of like quitting my job. Well, not my job, stopping my business and just trying to play full time. And we were playing that day. Ended up, we finished playing, came out to the bar. He was like a Sagamore or something, like the highest tier, for the card or whatever. So we had like unlimited drinks, and we were at the bar. And these older guy, we started talking about poker, and these older guy was saying like, telling me, don't like stop your business because of it. Like poker has like no long-term like redeeming qualities, right? And at the time I was like, these guys probably sucks. Like he doesn't know what he's talking about. Like all this stuff. Like, oh, he's not good enough. That's why he's saying all of this. But now like I understand what he was saying, right? Because like we were talking about like, oh, playing like 12 hours a day and just grinding and making like all this money that at the time for us like sounded like all this money. And he kept going on and on about how like poker has like no long-term redeeming qualities. And now I understand 100% what he meant. And
yeah, honestly too,
for a lot of
unless you're in Texas, like the games are not like there's not games running 24/7 that are soft enough that could even like make me want to play 6-7 days a week. Honestly, like they just don't exist, or they're not big enough. You know what I mean? Like I just can't. Yeah. I can't. Like I'm not going to grind one. It's not like beneath me. I just don't want to play 1-2. Like it's a waste of my time. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you saw me play 1-2. We're just all in every single hand. You know what I mean? So it's like
you just can't.
But I'm saying like, you know what I mean? So like there's not enough even good games to even make it, like unless like Texas maybe, but even that, like that shit's gonna die out too. Like it goes like the poker economy is like weird, dude. Like it waves like super hard. When it gets tough, it keeps getting harder, So
what's the memorable poker game that you've ever had in your life?
The most memorable game?
Yeah.
Oh, GPC, watching Drew lose his ass in 25-50. That shit was crazy. You ran so bad, bro. I'll never forget it.
I was up towards, I think.
The look on his face. I never see Drew get upset when we play cards except for that day.
Yeah, I normally don't care,
Literally, that's the only time I've seen that. It rattled you, bro. You were just like, dog, how is this real? Like, I'm usually the little bitch. You were like, what?
Yeah, I normally just, and it doesn't matter how much I lose, because like whatever, it's not like a brag or anything, but majority of the time it's not, I'm playing within my means, so the money doesn't really affect it. But I was running so bad in like all the key spots. I think I probably lost like around $80,000, or maybe a little less, like 60 or $70,000 worth of pots, and I ended up being down like 20 or 25k at the end of the night. So I don't even know because I doubled through Hector. I think it was like a almost 20k pot, I think. Or no, a little bit less, maybe like a 15k pot somewhere around there. And then Alex ended up pretty much stacking me, so I had to reload. But yeah, it's 2550 is actually I've never really played that big anyway. I'm talking about like 100 200 any of those games. So like 2550 is probably
It's a
one of
big
the
game,
biggest
dude.
games that I've played.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've only played it. I
So
played it a few times since then. It's a rush, dude. For me at least, like it's just it's a different beast.
and I
love it.
did so good during the stream. Like I wasn't stuck or anything. Outside of the stream, I got just demolished and lost like 320k pods. So like this is cool. So that's your most memorable game.
Well,
Great,
because
bro.
the
Thanks.
so like the night
Shit.
before that, I lost like 6K playing like 2-5, and every pot I lost to Drew. And then he's like making fun, they're all making fun of me the next day at the big game, like, oh, Corey runs so bad. And then I won like 30K, and I won it all off of them. And I was just sitting, I'm just sitting there with like, sorry, like a $40,000 stack, and I'm just like, yeah. And I was just like, oh, y'all ain't saying now. It was just funny, bro, in my head. I'm just like, this is what just happened. This is great. It went from being like super Stucksville on the trip first day to being like up heaps. You know what I mean? So that was like a super swingy 2 days, for sure. Like to be like you come into town, you immediately lose 6K and 2-5, which is like stupid, and then you just win like 30-40K the next day or whatever. But yeah, that was a pretty memorable game. I've played some games with Jason that are pretty memorable too. I used to run a game, like a house game or whatever. And this is like right when we first started making money, like even like before we started like killing it. And Jason got stuck like 12,000 in my 1-2 game, and he had it. Like I had it all written down and shit. And he's playing like this other dude heads up and gets like almost all of it back, bro. He's down like 2K. And this guy runs out of money, our friend, and he's like, yo, give me some credit to Jason. Jason gives him chips, and I'm Jason. Like, this guy doesn't have any money. Like, you can just leave and be down 2K. And the guy took like almost everything from Jason. So Jason went from being stuck like 12 to stuck 2 to stuck like 10. And
Wow.
yeah, then I had to take him to the bank after. It's like 10 in the morning, and I thought he was just gonna run out the back door, dude. Like I thought he's like when he walked in, he's like, I'm gonna tell them that you're robbing me. He just went on the side and got the money. Well, yeah, that was a pretty epic game too, dude.
How about
Me, I was trying to remember while Corey was. It was definitely one of those New York pool hall games. I think the pool hall finally had to close, and we've been playing for like 12 hours. So we ended up going to someone else's house. Everybody drove. It was like 7 in the morning. We were playing all night, and we went and played at someone else's house. They brought, food, all this stuff. We played all day, all night again. So it ended up, long story short, it ended up being like a 40-hour session. I was up like 10K, and that was huge, back then, because we'd only play like 1-2s. It was like a deep 1-2, but it was still just a 1-2. So being up 10K was huge. And then right before like the game was gonna break, or like 6-handed, I lost 3 huge pots back to back to back to back. So I lost all of my profit and got stuck like 2K, right? So I'm like, no, nobody's leaving. And I was kind of like the guy, like the right hand man of the guy that like ran the game and all that stuff. So I was like, nobody's leaving, I'm coming back. So like I bought back in, and we played for like hours again. And then like again, it was like 7 in the morning, and they stacked me again. And I'm like, I'm going home. I used to live like 5 minutes away from there. And I'm like, I'm going home. I'm going to get my money. I'll be right back. Nobody leaves. So I came back, and I brought like 5K more. And I lost it. So I was like, oh my God. At that time, that was like the most money that I've ever lost in my life, I was down like $7,000, and I was like, oh my God. I was like borderline depressed. I was like, what am I going to do? And then the game finally breaks, and I'm just like they're miserable, right? Like just hating life. And my friend was like, "Let's go to Atlantic City." We drove to Atlantic City, like 3.5 hours, and this is like on like no sleep for like 40 hours. We get there and start like playing blackjack, and then I won some of it on blackjack, then played poker. Long story short, I ended up getting all my money back, and I won like $2,000 or something, and it felt like the best $2,000 of my life. I was like, yes, I'm a champ. Like it felt so amazing because I was just stuck $7,000. I was like an 18-year-old, 19-year-old kid that was like pretty much like I think like all the money that I had at the time, and and it was like like all right, my life is over, and then I get it all back and win a couple a couple $1,000. I was like, yes. And me looking back now is just like I'm such an idiot. Like 3 days to win like 2K, like just wasting my time, like literally wasting
2K 3 days back then was sick. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but like, dude, like,
You're probably like,
I
damn,
mean,
bro, that's sick. $600 a day.
I mean, dude, like if knowing what I know now, it's just like now, like my most precious resource is time, right? So like, I wouldn't get up from here to go to a game if I knew guaranteed that I was gonna make 2K. So it's like now, knowing what I know now that my time is so valuable, and I'm trying to build things, I'm trying to like utilize my time in the best possible way that I can. Now is just that's why I said like looking at it now for with my perspective now, it's just like I could have just never played that, like not put myself in that position where like I have to chase it and like drive to Atlantic City 4 hours at like 8 in the morning after not sleeping for 2 days. But yeah, you live and you learn, and that was fun back then. So yeah, I think that's probably like my most memorable poker game.
What's the biggest lesson that you've ever had in poker?
Don't suck.
Don't suck. Or don't play when you are angry and when you are sad. Yeah.
Angry, tired, or hungry.
Angry, sad, and hungry.
Hungry, lonely, tired.
Yeah.
Don't harbadge for anybody that you don't 100% trust.
Yeah. No credit, no money, no honey.
Yeah, that was an expensive lesson.
Worst decision that you've ever made in playing poker? I'm pretty much sure there's a lot, but the worst.
I probably played too small for too long, to be honest with you, which sounds crazy, but like I should have started playing a little bit bigger games before I did. Like I'm probably like 2 years ago, I should have started playing the game sizes that I'm playing now, honestly. Like I feel like I was ready for it then. I had some money to play with, and I probably cost myself money by continuing to play smaller a couple years ago.
What do you think stopped you?
Like Sphere, and I don't know. I was playing a lot of like these home games too and stuff, and I was like comfortable playing those because they were like pretty soft, and like I wasn't traveling at all, so like I was just playing what was convenient and easy that I knew, and I wasn't like looking outside to find anything else. Like now, like me and Jared, like you've seen it, like we'd like drive to Ohio and shit to find games. Like we've been going downtown to MGM, like because we've been seeing like a lot of people crushing it. So like we went and did that. Me and Jared killed MGM last week. When I told you I was busy on
Game
Friday,
selection, it's huge. I think it's a vital part of a winning poker player.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like it was probably just not putting myself in the right spots at the right time to find those games. Like I was just comfortable playing the home games. And the home games just, I mean, it's high rake, dude, honestly. And the games were soft, but like they weren't as good as like they are now. Like the amount of time they have to spend grinding, like even like a 2-5 game versus the 5-10, like it's double the time. You know what I mean? So it's like, why cap yourself if you can afford to play? Just play 5-10, 10-25, 25-50.
Yeah. But like
so sometimes so like MGM on Friday, like I went down there because I want to get in their 25-50 game, and I finally got a seat. I was playing the 5-10 PLO. The game was sick, and I got called to the 25-50 because they had an opening. And I sit down, I play one orbit, and I rack my chips up. And they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm just gonna play PLO." And like it's like a semi-private game. I didn't want to offend the guy. The game was terrible. Like it was awful. And I was like, I'm like, I don't have an edge. Like I could grind it out and make it like maybe win. You know what I mean? But like the PLO was just a better game, and it was smaller.
Way
so it's
better,
not always, it's not always the stakes. You know what I'm saying? But I think I wasted too much time playing like 1-2. Honestly, you know what I mean? Personally.
I think it's really all about the game and the people in it, and if you have access to those private games. Because like when I play full time, I feel like I got stuck in like 1-2 and 2-5 because it was just my like comfort zone, and there
Yep.
was some like my hourly at 1-2 was ridiculously good, and there was like the Daytona back in the day. So I'm talking about like 2013, somewhere around there. The Daytona Poker Kennel Club, I feel, me personally, I feel like had like one of the worst 2-5s. It was hit or miss. Like there was some like really really good regs. So I was just like, I had my days where like I want to battle it out with them and just like kind of like to prove myself that I'm like just as good as them or whatever. But majority of the times when I was on the right mindset of like, okay, I'm just here for money. I'm not here to just compete and compare who's better. I'll just stay playing 1-2, and I made like so much more money. So I got stuck in those stakes for that reason, and I exclusively played at casinos, right? So I played at the Daytona Poker Room, at the Hard Rock, and I'll go somewhere else for the same reasons. Like home games are rakes too high. Depending, some of the home games could be like crooked. You could get cheated, all this stuff. But I feel like once like I think it was like during the pandemic or like right after the pandemic, I started playing like pretty much exclusively home games. And it's because like if you find the right home games, like they can be so soft where like the rake like almost doesn't even matter just because of the fact that you're not gonna find games like this like in publicly, like in the casinos and stuff. So I feel like if I would have been able to find those games before, I probably would have like done like way way better playing those games, even though the rate was higher, even though like all of that aside, like you can still these games can still be like plus EV. So
Yeah, there's like a private game that I play, dude, and the rate's super high, but it's like, I mean, it's like a home
it's
game,
worth it, right? Like so,
but it's worth it, bro. Like it's like stupid, like, but this is like different. You know what I mean? Like, right, like during the start of COVID when everything shut down, and then like the Michigan market started running games back again pretty quick. Like pretty much like as soon as like you were like allowed to go outside, they started running games again. The games were all like they were sick for like the first couple of months. And then they started dying, and that's when I should have like started looking for other stuff. And I just stuck around for a while, and the games got like terrible. And then like, like I could have been like whatever, just doing other shit. We're just not playing every day. You know what I mean? Just chilling because like they were just that bad. They were like terrible. So there's still a couple of good games around here, but yeah, it's like game selection. You know what I mean? Like I suffered heavily from poor game selection for like a while, and it like definitely hurt my return on time, like return on investment. Like if me and Drew play 50-cent dollar online, like I mean, people are gonna lose 40,000 in a month. Like it's different, you know what I mean? That's the game selection. That's one of my best poker memories too, bro.
Fifth Street, baby.
Fifth Street.
I lost 20,000 big blinds in 1 week
We
and
started.
got them all back.
It was like 10 of us, and I was like, "Yo, let's all play together, play 50-cent dollar." And I think me and Alex at one point were up 80K combined in like a month. Like it was, and I Drew swung like a boat both ways, like actually, like a fucking like lost the boat and then won his boat back, type of shit in 50-cent dollar. Which Thorm, that's insane. Like I tell people that play poker every single day of their life, and they're like, "Stop, no, that didn't happen." And I'm like, I swear to God, bro, it was the most insane game in the world.
That was like right around during the pandemic too, because I remember that Alex was actually at my house, and one of like when we first started that, and like what we would do is like we would like float in the pool with margaritas because we couldn't go anywhere, right? So we were just like there. We would float in the pool, drinking, just playing all day, like literally all day. And one day I went to sleep because I was like just super tired. I come back and I'm like, how are you doing? And I'm like, I'm down like 11. And I'm like, what, 1100? And he's like, no, 11,000. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's 50-cent dollar. Like, how do you down $11,000? And he's like, yeah, bro, it's just not going well today. And even then, like, he was still up.
That's like, remember America? Remember the America Club too? And like the first day we played it, I ran up to like 12K or something. Everyone was like, what the I was just going all in, every hand winning, all in, all in, all in, all in. Even at your wedding, they were like, "Yo, are you king of credit or whatever my name was on there?" And I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "Damn, you're sick." Like that was disgusting. Like that was insane. You're just lucky, bro. You're just all in, all in. I haven't won a hand since online. I haven't won a hand since. Swear to God.
Yeah. What's the best advice that you can give to the younger poker generation?
Don't play poker for a living. No, I'm just playing. Do whatever you want, guys. I don't know. My advice, you probably don't want to hear.
I mean, I would say study, dude. I don't know. Some people are like, oh, I don't want to study because it screws up my game. Like, then I don't know. Like, you're not listening to the shit then, or you're not applying it, or like there's like for sure like some people just have some good qualities in playing poker, but like they're like studying and having a good group of people who are good poker players around you. That's the number one thing I would say, is make friends with people who are better than you at poker. That's like the biggest piece of advice. Like when I started
running my game, number one advice, yes.
100%. Like I talked like I like Alex a lot, but like he's very good. I talk to him. Like Jared, like when I first started running my game, like I used to ask him like a bunch of questions and then we became friends. Like Justin, like all those guys, like Bashir. Like I like these guys and stuff, but like they're good, dude. You know what I mean? So like I talk to, like that's not why I talk to them. We happen to be friends, but that dynamics help me a shit ton, because I can call any of them and be like, hey, what do you think about this spot? Or we just talk hands, game concepts, and like sometimes they'll be like, have you thought of this? And I'll be like, oh, like that's true. You know what I mean? So it's like having a network of people around you, if you're being serious about playing, who are better than you, or who are like always pushing forward to like take it serious. That's like huge. Like if you hang out with people who are fish or just gambling, like you're gonna fall into that category.
I don't care who it is. If Phil Ivey would come in and be like, Drew, you have to buy my course and you're gonna be like 10x better poker player, I would much rather just have a network of people like, you know, that understand me, that are my friends, that are better than me in poker, and listen to them constantly. I feel like it's that.
Yeah, it's still studying. You know what I mean? I think studying is just for me.
I feel like studying could be too linear sometimes. No, what I was saying is like I do agree with you 100% that that's like the best piece of advice, is just like have a good network of people that, you know, are a little bit better than you and stuff, and just listen, learn, and you know, continue evolving as a poker player, and like just like be coachable, be willing to learn from those people, right? Like don't make excuses for the things that you're doing wrong, instead of like fixing them. Like just realize that if people are telling you that you're doing something wrong, it's probably because like they've done it before and they know better now. So just like instead of make excuses for them, just listen, adjust, and like just get better. That's one of the things that I did that like actually helped me a ton. Like back in the day, shout out to Sev and my buddy Jay, if they ever listen to this. There were two of like my first like poker player friends that were like, will help me a bunch, and my game got so much better just by listening to what they had to say.
And there are good poker players who won't talk poker with you too. Like that's like, so
yeah,
I mean, but like there's a lot of them, bro, who like won't break it down. Like they just won't refuse to talk strategy with you, and in their head it's just them thinking small and being like, oh, that's like, you know what I mean, I can't give away that info. But there are like a lot of good people in the community who like will talk to you about stuff. I've had like I think I make money playing. Like I don't think I'm the best player in the world. Like people have reached out to me and like on Facebook randomly, like random hands and shit. Like I know the answer to this stuff. Like they did something wrong. It's cool, bro. Like I like talking about that stuff. Like it's like it's interesting. You know what I mean? And it's interesting to see how the fish think too. You know? So like, hey, okay, cool. You thought that? That's good to know. You know? But then like something I wasn't good at for a long time, like was tracking my tracking all my sessions. I think that's like a really like key part of the game, because you can't really tell if you're doing something, because like we like as human beings, like we tend to remember really good things and really bad things, but like we don't remember all like the small loss and small win sessions, right? Like you remember your biggest win and your biggest loss, but like because they're dramatic, but like you forget about all the stuff in between. And like when you track all your sessions, it just gives you like hey dude, like if you have 1,000 sessions and like you're stuck, like you're doing something wrong, like either you're tipping too much, the rate's too high, or you have leaks. But like you need to be looking at the data. Like it's just like owning a business. Like if your business isn't profitable, you're up. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's about making money. So like I didn't track very well for a long time, and and I didn't have any data. I didn't have any data to go off of.
You reminded me of like the older guy that I was telling you guys about before, like the hustler that like would always win in pool and win poker. And I used to when I first started taking the game seriously, I'll have like I think it was Poker Tracker, right? Like the app on my phone, and be like, oh look, I won these sessions, I lost these sessions, and I would like try to talk to him because he would win so much. And I was like, how do you track your stuff, right? Because I was just starting to get into like the groove of like being organized and trying to learn how to be, like get better at poker and all that stuff. And he was like, dude, I'm like 50 some years old. I'm old fashioned. I'm like, what does that mean? In his pocket. And he pulled out like his Watt money. And he was like, when this is bigger, it means that I'm doing well. When this gets thinner, it's like I'm not doing too well.
Bro, Alex like tracks his shit. Alex like tracks his notes.
He started doing that recently.
I know, but he doesn't use like I'm like, dude, use app, you weirdo. He's like, I'm old school. I'm like, you're 30, bro. Like, what the fuck do you mean you're old?
Bro,
like,
there are people that are old school that are 30. Like I have like, I'm learning a lot of stuff now, but like when it comes to like technology and stuff, like I feel like I was left behind a little bit. Like, I'm honestly like also like a bit old school in certain things. And Alex is the same way. Like he never tracked his stuff. He's been playing poker like full time since he was like 19 years old. That's all he's done. And he just now, this is like 12 years into it now, he just now started to take notes. It was this guy, it was funny. It was like, when my water money gets thinner is that I'm doing bad, but it never gets thinner. I was just like, all right, I guess you're the godfather of poker, dude. Like,
what's the worst money mistake that you've ever had?
Not invest my money sooner.
Yeah, me too, probably.
I made more money than the average kid makes at 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 years old. And I just had a money management problem. I didn't have the right mindset. I didn't have the right goals, didn't have any plans. So instead of investing my money, I just spent it in things that were not growing me any more money. So that's definitely the worst like mistake for me.
Yeah, I'd agree. Like my first year of like actually making good money, I lent way too much out. That was like that's honestly probably my biggest mistake, was like lending money to the wrong and not realizing I was being used fast enough. And then B, not like spending it on stupid that like doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like I really don't like like all the money I'm spending this year is like on traveling, which is cool. Like I can justify that in my head really well. You know what I mean? And like I get a return. I get a return on it. I either get a return on it from a business standpoint, like I make relationships, I network, I play poker, like all that kind of stuff when I travel, and then memories, right? Like I'm good. Like that is not a money dump to me. I can justify it. That's what I'm saying. But like I don't buy myself shit anymore, bro. Like I don't buy like, remember I used to buy all those stupid sneakers. Like I do that like very rarely now. Like I bought some new shoes a couple weeks ago. They were like $100. My average pair of shoes like a year ago were like $1,000. It was like retarded, bro. I was just buying like stupid. I'm good. I did that for a year. It didn't do anything,
The travel you can justify on any front. Like is a net positive in your life in any front. Business, you get to network, like you said, family wise, especially if you're fortunate enough to bring your family on your business trips. That's amazing. It's one of like the things that I like the most. And now I'm looking forward to these years so much because little badass baby is gonna be born, and then I'm gonna be taking him to like all these business trips. It's gonna be amazing. But yeah, I just want to throw that in there because it's like, it's good in all fronts. You make memories with your family, you network, you get more connections for business. Traveling, especially internationally and going to other countries and stuff, just opens up your mind to broader, more different cultures and how the people think and stuff. So it's just like, I love traveling so much, and I haven't done enough of it, but I'm definitely going to do a whole lot more. This year, we're going to be in the Philippines. Corey's coming too. We're going to get to meet Thorm and the team. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. There's a lot of casinos waiting for you here, guys. I'm going to have a casino hopping. All right. Guys, as an entrepreneur, guys, what's the best advice that you can give for a rookie entrepreneur?
You gotta don't try to for me, it's like, don't try to do it yourself. Focus on what you're really good at and delegate the rest of the stuff and find help for that. So if you're really good at sales, focus on sales. You know what I mean? If you're really good at operations and process and running a company, but you suck at sales, hire somebody to do sales. Like everything kind of like has to, you got to focus on what you're good at doing and then hire in and fill in the blanks. If you don't, you can't do everything. You'll just create a job, you know, and fail fast too. Like don't try to make something work that's not working. You know what I mean? Just fail and move on.
Fail faster. Wow. That's the first.
Fail faster, man. I've held on to stupid and that wasn't going to work out, like that I thought was a good idea, and try to make people do it, and it doesn't work. It's okay to fail, just don't waste your life failing.
I love these subjects. I get carried away so much, but I feel like it's just have a plan, you know, develop a plan, see what you want to do, why you want to do it, and how you're gonna do it, and then just put all your resources towards it. Like it sounds simple, but it's very, very complicated, you know. Like you have to really be honest with yourself and find the reason why you want to do whatever it is that you want to do. Because just like knowing in your head that you want to make money, it might get you there, but then what do you do with that money if you don't have the plan or the vision in your head, or if it's not a strong enough why, like it's not going to make a difference. So like just figure out exactly, like define success for yourself and put all your resources towards it, and just don't stop until you get there. Like Corey said also, like just don't, you know, have the courage to suck at something. I mean, you're gonna suck. It's just not like, yeah, right. If you're just starting to do it, you're gonna suck. It's like if all of a sudden I had a change of heart and I didn't want to be a business person or an entrepreneur, but I wanted to be a painter. Like I'm gonna go and try to paint something, I'm gonna suck. But if I like it, if I love it enough, and if I want to do it, I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna do it over and over again, day in and day out, and eventually I'm gonna get better. Just, you know, keep doing what you want to do. Put all your resources towards it. Put your head down and keep working.
And guys, let me just add with all of those advices, guys. Here's the thing. My advice for rookie entrepreneurs, guys. I just want to tell you. Sometimes it's all not the why, the how, the what, but it's all about the who. First things first, before you do everything up, you need to know first the who. Who's the one doing the business? If it's you alone, you need to improve yourself, self-development first. You need to improve yourself. You need to learn everything up first. And you need to admit that you suck at something and develop something within you. Learn everything, network, books, and people who've been there and done that. So that you're not gonna repeat the mistakes that they also made when they are actually starting up.
And one thing that we all forgot, that it's huge, and if you're like very new in whatever industry that you want to be at, if you have you know, if you can, whether it's what you can afford it, if you can talk your way into it, or however you can get it, is just find mentorship. And a mentor is not a coach, right? Like a mentor is somebody that's done what you want to do, and has like a track record, and it's just like a proven path of what's worked for that person, and can kind of like give you a blueprint of, you know, like what they did and how it worked for them, and like whether you have to pay them, like whether you can work for free for them, whatever it is. Like if if you find the right one, you have to find the right one. And I've heard into a lot of, like, you know, a lot of other people and the top people in the business space, that normally you want to look at a mentor, like someone that is doing about 10x what you're doing, right? Because like, for example, if I'm just starting, if I'm trying to get to like my first $100,000, and you go and try to get a mentor that is doing like billions of dollars, they're probably going to give you advice that is going to be like so powerful and so helpful, that is like too powerful for you. Like you're not even going to know what to do with that, all that advice. So like if you're trying to get to like your first 100K a year, like go find someone that is doing like 1 million a year, and ask them how they got there, you know, how they get there, what they do, and all that stuff. And a lot of the times, a lot of these people are busy, you know, they value their time a lot. You just try to figure it out a way where like either you know, you are of value to them, so they want to mentor you, or just, you know, like just be scrappy and figure out a way to get their attention.
What's the best marketing advice that you can give for a startup company?
That was for Corey.
Yeah, so like, I don't know, to me, marketing, the first thing I did when I started was just go after my own network, honestly. Like look at like and I'm talking, it's like totally grassroots marketing shit. Like literally write down all the people you know and try to figure out all the people they know and like use word of mouth as like your best friend. Because at the end of the day, most startups don't have the budgets like go after and like do a marketing branding fallout campaign, and like make sure you have just like a solid web presence. So like have a website, have a Google My Business page, have social media platforms, like look the part and start talking to people. Like that's pretty much what I would do. And cold calling can still work, bro. Honestly, like I used to cold call all the time, and like that's literally how we built our company, was off of cold calling. Like it sucks and the telephone can get heavy, but like if you're really trying to get sales like today, like you can literally pick up the phone and find somebody to meet with you 100%.
So you meet them personally?
Dude, I used to call people. I used to call like 200 random people a day and just pitch them. And then I'd go meet with them. Like I wouldn't meet, I might call 200 people and get like one meeting, but like, that's how I used to do it. Cause we didn't have any money. You know what I mean? We didn't have like, that was it. Like, all right, cool, dude. Like we got to get sales. Nobody knew us who we are. We don't have any website traffic. Like we don't have any budget. Like, all right, cool. Let's go get it. You know what I mean? So yeah, like, if you're talking like startup, like I wouldn't waste money on, like if it's like day one, like I wouldn't hire an agency. Like if you can't make money with no money, you're not going to make money when you have money. You get what I'm saying? Like if you can't make money with no money, it doesn't matter if you owe $100,000 marketing budget or $200,000, $300,000 marketing budget. You're just not going to make money.
That's solid.
You got to be able to make money with no money. If you can't make money with no money, you're just not going to make money.
I love that.
That's really solid. Huh. Thank you very much, Corey, for that one.
Have always done things a bit of an unorthodox way. My background was never being like really marketing. I mean, I've done a lot of sales and stuff, which in a way it's kind of like it's similar, right? But if you and I are starting Media Minds, which is a marketing agency now, and I've learned a lot. And I think that just like Corey said, just go out and pitch people. After, like, the thing for me was like I knew that I was good at certain things, and there are certain things that I'm not good at. So like I second guess myself a lot. And I feel like a lot of the times, like you don't get second chances because in certain industries, it can be so like they're so saturated, they're so cutthroat that I just feel like if you're not ready, you might not get a second chance. So I tried to like just learn as much as I could before I actually went out, pitched a lot of customers. I didn't have that one thing that we were talking about earlier, just have the courage to suck at something new. Right. And I realized that a couple months into it, and now I'm changing that and things are moving along, things are progressing. So just, have the courage to do it. If you suck at it, you won't suck at it for that long. And just go out and get, just do what you're supposed to do, what you have to do.
Thank you very much, guys, for your time. Anyway, this will be a fast talk. I just need you guys to answer this one very, very fast. Okay? Very fast. The first thing that pops up into your mind should be the answer that you will be telling us. Are you
okay?
This is only 5 questions, guys. Okay, five quick questions. What's the best financial advice that you've ever received?
Save. Just save 20%, period, no matter what.
What's the worst financial advice that you've ever received?
The worst financial advice I've ever received: buy a house. It's a save. Buy a house. It's a retirement.
Till retirement. Okay.
That's like the old thinking is like, oh, your house is your retirement. It's really not.
What is something that you used to value that don't anymore?
Popularity.
What is something that you think people think that is more important when it comes to money, that you realize personally that you don't even need to focus on? That's not the right focus.
Yeah, to me, once you make 200K or whatever, like anything above that, like until you get to way more than I make, I guess, like I'd have to make like $2 million more a year to like change my lifestyle probably. So like when you start making money, like people are like, oh, like this is gonna make me happy. Like, yeah, it makes you more comfortable and stuff. But like you still got to focus on like your family and stuff that matters. You know what I mean? It doesn't just make you happy; it just makes shit easier.
If you could create one law that everyone in the world will gonna follow, what would it be?
Be real to yourself.
Be real to yourself. Wow, that's all. Thank you very much, Corey. Yeah, Drew, it's your turn. So, what's the best financial advice that you've ever received?
Stop trading your time for money.
What's the worst financial advice that you've ever received?
Save your money.
What is something that you used to value that don't anymore?
Materialist things. Like I like things, but I don't get attached to things. So like for example, I recently just bought a newer car, and I was at the dealership, and the guy was like, "Are you super excited? Like is this amazing? This car is like super nice." And I was like, "Nah, like yeah, I like the car, but I'm buying it because I want to turn it into an asset, and I'm gonna start like a venture with it, not because like it's gonna be my baby, you know? Like materialistic things like don't matter."
What is something that you think people thinks that is very important when it comes to money, but you realize that it's not the right focus?
Money, like they a lot of people want more money and they don't even know what to do with it. Like so your mentality, it's what matters, and like your attitude towards like what you want to achieve. uh a lot of people, if you don't have the right mentality, if you don't know what you're doing, you don't have the right plan, it doesn't matter if you make an extra, you know, if you double your salary, you're just gonna have bigger problems. Like a lot of people say more money more problems and it's not like necessarily true. You know, if you make more money and you have more problems, you're doing something wrong.
If you could create one law that everyone in the world would follow, what would it be?
Try to be of service to other people, not just yourself and your family.
Dude, that's all. Yeah. Thank you very much, guys. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you. It's been an hour and 48
Yeah.
minutes. Thank
Oh,
you.
yeah.
Thank you, Corey. Appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate the time that you have put for this, and I hope that we can again do it. Yeah, with a lot of poker questions, and we can get to invite um poker players, right? Poker players in the industry itself, so that um definitely we can talk about more poker, more business, and maybe um more collaborations that we can ever,
Ab-
right?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Corey, any final message for the viewers?
I love you guys. I'm sure I'll see you guys again soon. So
Yeah. Okay. Last question. Well, last question, guys. With all the success that you've ever had, what's next for Drew and Corey?
I don't feel
Yeah.
like I've achieved nearly the success that I want to achieve. I feel like I'm just getting started. So I don't feel like I'm some bigwig dude. I do a lot better than a lot of the people I am around, a lot of people I grew up with. But me and Drew are gonna take over the world. Period. So this shit is we're gonna look back at this shit and like laugh at all the answers to all these questions because we're gonna be like, damn, how stupid were we? That's my goal.
Yeah. How about you, Drew?
We're just getting started, like you said. I, I've been super blessed, I guess, in the past few years, and I've done a lot of things differently than pretty much my entire 20s, and I'm starting to see the different outcome, and I'm just getting addicted to it. So continue doing those things, like just putting all my resources towards that, like that path and that mentality. It's gonna pay off very, very soon, and I can't wait to see the results. And Corey's gonna be right there with me. You're gonna be right there with me. So it's gonna be an amazing year for all of us.
Yeah. Thank you very much, guys. God bless you. And I really, really hope that we can have this again and again and again. God bless you guys. Take care always and have a good day. Guys,
See you,
don't
homie.
forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell button. AbadAdssLife. All right? Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much, guys.